When millionaire Daniel Foster stopped his car that night, he didn't expect his heart to shatter. The woman trembling in the cold, clutching her daughters, was Emma Caldwell. The same Emma who once lit up his world, now left with nothing but scars from a cruel betrayal. Daniel had two choices: walk away or step into her broken life. His decision would shock everyone and lead to a love story no one saw coming. If you believe second chances can heal even the deepest wounds, this story is for you. Emma Caldwell, a single mother, once had everything: a cozy home, a stable job, and a happy little family. But everything fell apart when her husband Jason Whitmore tricked her into signing over all their assets. In the blink of an eye, Jason vanished, taking everything and leaving Emma and their two young daughters, Sophie and Lily, with nothing. Now Emma works at Brooklyn's classic diner, scraping by to make ends meet. Every day feels like a battle as she struggles to afford food and keep her daughters warm. That night, after finishing her shift, Emma sat outside the diner with Sophie and Lily. The three of them shared the only sandwich she could afford, trying to keep the mood light despite the bitter night air. Just then, a sleek car pulled up nearby. A man stepped out and called her name. It was Daniel Foster, an old high school friend. Once a shy and reserved guy, Daniel now stood before her, confident, dressed in a sharp suit. He couldn't believe his eyes.
"Emma, is that really you?"
Daniel asked, his voice filled with shock and concern. Emma turned away, ashamed but unable to hide her pain. "Hey, Daniel." "Yeah, it's me." Daniel's expression softened with empathy. He didn't need an explanation to see that Emma and her daughters were struggling. But would Emma accept help from an old friend? Daniel looked at her with deep concern. He couldn't forget the girl he had admired in high school, but now exhaustion and hardship were etched across her face. He knew he couldn't just walk away. "Emma, what happened?" "You can't stay out here like this," Daniel said, his voice filled with concern. Emma lowered her head, her voice trembling with shame and despair. Everything just fell apart, Daniel. I don't want to drag you into this mess. You've done so well for yourself. I can't be a burden." Daniel immediately cut in. "You are not a burden. Please let me help." Emma shook her head, overwhelmed by fear and shame. She had always relied on herself, but Daniel was persistent. He offered to take Emma and her daughters home, at least for the night, so they could have a safe place to stay. "My house has plenty of space. You and the girls can stay there until things settle down," he said sincerely. Emma hesitated, her mind racing with conflicting thoughts. Accepting Daniel's help felt like admitting defeat, something she had fought against for so long. But when she glanced at Sophie and Lily, their tiny bodies trembling under their thin jackets, her protective instincts as a mother outweighed her pride. "All right, but just temporarily," Emma replied, her voice soft but filled with quiet determination. Daniel gave her a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, you don't have to do this alone anymore." As Daniel helped them gather their few belongings and load them into his car, Emma felt a glimmer of hope, something she hadn't felt in a long time. At Daniel's spacious and welcoming home, Emma and her daughters started to experience a sense of stability they hadn't felt in months. Daniel prepared a warm, comfortable room for them, complete with blankets, clean clothes, and hearty meals. For the first time since losing their home, Sophie and Lily slept in real beds. In the beginning, Emma felt out of place and awkward. She wasn't used to accepting help, especially from someone like Daniel. But Daniel offered more than just a roof over their heads. He patiently listened and encouraged Emma to open up about her struggles. One evening, as the girls played in the living room, Daniel sat down beside Emma. "Emma, I know you've been through a lot, but have you ever thought about what you really want to do?" Emma gave a wistful smile. "What I want? I don't even know where to start anymore." Daniel smiled back, his eyes filled with encouragement. "I remember back in high school you had a real passion for interior design. I can still recall the projects you did in art class. Have you ever thought about picking that up again?" Emma hesitated. The thought of going back to school felt overwhelming. I don't think I have what it takes anymore, Daniel. It's been too long. But Daniel didn't give up. He helped Emma research online courses at Parsons School of Design and even covered the tuition fees for her. At first, Emma was nervous and unsure of herself, but with Daniel's encouragement, she took small steps forward. During her classes, Emma quickly realized that her creativity was still alive. Her assignments impressed her instructors and classmates, and slowly she regained her confidence. Over time, Emma not only relearned valuable skills, but also rediscovered a passion she thought she had lost. And Daniel was always there, whether it was helping watch the kids or brainstorming ideas with her. Emma began to see herself not just as a struggling single mother, but as a capable woman building a better future for herself and her daughters. As Emma started rebuilding her life, a part of her past resurfaced: her ex-husband, Jason Whitmore. Emma knew she had to confront him, not for her own sake, but for Sophie and Lily. She reached out to Jason, hoping he would take responsibility as a father and at least provide financial support for their daughters. But when they met, her hope quickly turned to disappointment. Jason, now living a lavish life, showed no remorse or concern. "I have nothing to do with your life anymore, Emma. Whatever happened is your fault. Take care of it yourself," he said coldly. Emma felt a pang in her heart. She had hoped at the very least that Jason might change for the sake of his children, but he remained as selfish as ever. When Emma returned home, she was disheartened but not defeated. Jason, now living a lavish life, showed no remorse or concern. "I have nothing to do with your life anymore, Emma. Whatever happened is your problem. Deal with it yourself," Jason said coldly. Emma felt a sharp sting in her heart. She had hoped that at the very least Jason might change for the sake of their daughters, but he was just as selfish as ever. When Emma returned home, she was discouraged but not broken. Daniel was there, as always, ready to listen and support her. "Emma, you don't need Jason's approval or support to succeed. Look at everything you've accomplished in such a short time. You're not just an incredible mother, you're a strong, capable woman," Daniel said, his voice full of sincerity. His words made Emma realize she no longer needed to hold on to the past. Jason had no power over her anymore. Instead, she decided to focus all her energy on creating a better future for Sophie and Lily. That day, Emma learned an invaluable lesson: sometimes to move forward, you have to let go of what no longer matters. One quiet evening, as Emma was tidying up the kitchen after dinner, Sophie and Lily walked in, their eyes shining with something they wanted to share. Emma wiped her hands, sat down at the table, and motioned for her daughters to join her. "Mom, we want to tell you something," Sophie said softly but with a serious tone. Emma smiled warmly, watching her daughters sit beside her. "What is it, girls? I'm listening." Lily hesitated for a moment before speaking. "We don't think we need someone like Jason to be our dad anymore. He never cared about us." Emma sat still. Those words, though painful, were a truth she knew they couldn't ignore. Sophie added firmly, "But Mom, Uncle Daniel is so kind to us. He listens when we talk, plays with us, and helps when we need it. He makes us feel safe, like he really cares. We don't know if he's like a dad, but maybe he could be one someday." Lily nodded, her eyes glistening. "Uncle Daniel does everything I think a dad should do. He always asks if we're okay, tells funny stories, and hugs us so warmly. With him around, I don't feel like we need Jason anymore." Emma sat in silence for a moment, tears welling up in her eyes. She realized that even though Daniel had never tried to replace Jason, his genuine love and kindness had filled the void in Sophie and Lily's hearts. Taking their hands, Emma whispered, "I'm so happy you feel Uncle Daniel's love. He truly cares about you, and that means more to me than anything." Lily smiled softly, her eyes bright. "Uncle Daniel is special, Mom. If we could choose a dad, we'd choose him." Emma pulled her daughters into a tight embrace, her heart overflowing with gratitude and hope. As time passed, Emma and Daniel grew closer. Daniel was no longer just the person who had helped her in hard times. He had become an irreplaceable part of her and her daughters' lives. Daniel spent countless hours with Sophie and Lily, from helping Sophie with her homework to reading bedtime stories to Lily. The two girls, who had never known a real father's love, quickly bonded with Daniel and began to see him as a father figure. Emma watched it all with a heart full of emotions. She knew Daniel wasn't doing any of this out of obligation or pity. The love and patience he showed her daughters were real, coming from the heart. Still, Emma couldn't shake the apprehension. The scars from her past made her hesitant to fully open up. She wondered if she deserved this new happiness, if she could truly trust another man with her heart. One evening, as Emma and her daughters played in the yard, Daniel approached her. "Emma, you know I don't just want to help you and the girls get back on your feet. I want to be part of your lives. Forever." His voice was full of sincerity. Emma felt a lump form in her throat. "Daniel, I don't know if I can move past this fear. I'm scared that if I let this get too close, it'll all slip away again." Daniel gently took Emma's hand. "I understand that you're afraid, but sometimes to move forward, you have to take a leap of faith. And I promise I won't let you or the girls get hurt again." His words brought Emma a sense of peace. Slowly but surely, she learned to trust and accept the love Daniel brought into her life, not just for her, but for Sophie and Lily too. A few months later, Emma's life was transforming in ways she had never dared to dream. With Daniel's unwavering support, she completed her Parsons School of Design program and started taking on small projects for friends and acquaintances. Emma felt not only proud of her work, but also relieved she had finally built a path for lasting stability for Sophie and Lily. One evening, Daniel hosted a small party at his home to celebrate Emma's first major milestone, completing a design project for Central Perk Cafe. Close friends and a few new clients came to congratulate her. For the first time in a long time, Emma felt surrounded by love and support. After the party, Daniel surprised Emma by kneeling before her, a sparkling ring in his hand. "Emma, you and the girls have changed my life. You're not just the person I admired in high school. You're the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Will you marry me?" Emma looked at Daniel, tears in her eyes. She thought about everything she had endured, from being homeless and heartbroken to this moment where a hopeful future was within reach. "Yes, Daniel, I will." Emma's voice trembled with emotion. Their wedding was simple yet filled with warmth, surrounded by close friends and loved ones. Sophie and Lily were overjoyed to wear beautiful bridesmaid dresses. And then Daniel officially adopted both girls, becoming the father they had always dreamed of. Together, Emma, Daniel, Sophie, and Lily embarked on a new chapter of their lives, one built on love, patience, and trust, which had carried them through the hardest times and helped them create a family filled with joy and happiness. After the wedding, the bond between Daniel and Emma's daughters, Sophie and Lily, grew even stronger. From mornings filled with laughter to bedtime stories that sparked their imaginations, Daniel became more than just a caring presence. He became the hero the girls had always longed for. At first, the girls were a little shy, but Daniel's patience and unconditional love quickly made them feel safe and cherished. Before long, Sophie and Lily started calling Daniel Dad, a word they had never used for anyone before. The first time Sophie hesitantly said it, Daniel was so moved he could barely speak. He knelt down, pulled the two girls into a tight embrace, and promised them that he would always be there, ensuring they would never feel alone or unloved again. From that moment on, Sophie and Lily completely trusted Daniel. Whenever they had something exciting or troubling to share, they would go to him first. Sophie loved showing him her schoolwork and proudly telling him about her good grades, while Lily often whispered little secrets to him, things she wasn't ready to share with anyone else. One evening, Sophie walked into the living room holding up a drawing she had just finished. In the picture, Sophie, Lily, Emma, and Daniel stood together hand in hand under a bright, shining sun. "I drew you too, Dad," Sophie said, her eyes filled with warmth and pride. Pointing at Daniel's figure in the drawing, Sophie smiled. "You're the one who makes us happy." Daniel couldn't hold back his tears. Sophie's words were the clearest testament to the love and trust he had built with this family. Now their small family lived in a warm, cozy home where every corner reflected their love and unity. The house had been personally redesigned by Daniel with input from Emma. From Sophie and Lily's hand-drawn artwork adorning the walls to the garden where they often planted flowers and vegetables together, every detail symbolized the love they shared. Emma continued to grow her interior design career. Her creativity and determination made her a sought-after designer in the area. Despite running his own successful business, Daniel always made time to support his wife, whether it was encouraging her professionally or taking care of the girls at home. Now Sophie and Lily not only had a safe place to call home, but also a father they adored. The two grew closer to Daniel each day, seeing him as their hero. Laughter and joy filled their home, a testament to the love and happiness the family had built together. If you were Emma, would you dare open your heart again after being hurt in the past? Do you believe kindness and love truly have the power to change someone's destiny? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your words could become someone's inspiration to overcome their hardest days. Wishing you happiness and peace in your life. Thank you for supporting the channel. The stories are collected from various sources and do not represent any individual or organization. They are shared with the intention of spreading human values in life and have been rewritten with the support of AI. If there are any mistakes, kindly overlook them with understanding. Wishing you all the best in life.